All right, so we watched the debate a few nights ago. It was riveting. It was great to watch. You were in the diner yesterday, did a great job, and someone said this was like watching the second-string quarterback or something to that effect.
An audition for cabinet members.
Exactly, or for Vice President of the United States. So Newt Gingrich was on with Laura Ingraham last night, had a great interview with him. He's so brilliant. He was House Speaker. He knows politics like the back of his hand. And he said this Trump thing, everyone's got to get on board. He's going to be the nominee. And he said this is not just a political candidate. This is a movement across our country. Listen.
I think Trump will be the nominee. And the question now for everybody is, do you want to see Joe Biden reelected, or do you want to help Donald Trump? There's no middle ground here, I don't think, because you're either going to get Trump as president or you're going to get Biden. And Biden's reelection would be a disaster for the country. And I like Nikki Haley a lot. I think she's very smart and did a great job at the UN and a great job as governor. I think Ron DeSantis is an amazing governor and has been about as effective as you could be. And in other circumstances, I suspect he'd be the front runner. But we are where we are. Trump is not really a candidate. He is the leader of a national movement. And that's a totally different psychological and emotional relationship than candidacy.
So, as we all know, there's Donald Trump. He is ahead on the Republican side by a mile. You know, about a year ago, 9 months ago, the conventional wisdom was if anybody had a good chance at taking on Donald Trump, it would be Ron DeSantis, because he has a really good record down in the great state of Florida. Well, time goes on, and Ron DeSantis is not doing as well as he was for a while. Trump is dominating in the polls, as the big wall says. And suddenly, there are a number of big donors and prominent people on the Republican side who are looking for a white knight to come in and do what Ron DeSantis could not. The CBS correspondent Robert Costa wrote an op-ed. This is an op-ed, not news reportage, in the Washington Post. And the headline is, alarmed Republicans are preparing to draft Glenn Youngkin, the governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. They're going to have this red vest retreat coming up in a couple of weeks. Remember, he wore that when he won stunningly down in the great state of the Commonwealth, rather. And so they're going to do this. Officially, this is about trying to get the Republicans to win full control of the General Assembly in the November election, so they would have both houses, the Republicans. But unofficially, they're trying to push, if not shove, Glenn Youngkin into the race for the White House.
It's a bad idea, and I appreciate I appreciate Newt's comments. He's saying something that I cannot say, but if y'all remember on the couch from the very beginning when Ron DeSantis got in the race, I said this is not going to work. And I don't say that because I'm smarter than anyone. It's because I'm in diners almost every single week talking with voters all across the country. And I said, look, Trump has a stronghold on the Republican Party right now. I don't care what the pundits tell you. I don't care what the pollsters tell you. I don't care what the analysts tell you. They are no substitute for the American people, the people that are going to cast the vote. Now, do I think Newt is right in the sense to force these candidates out? I think there's going to be some backlash. I think that they will not get their supporters to rally behind Donald Trump. But the reality of it, it's going to eventually happen, Brian and Ainsley. Donald Trump is going to be the nominee.
Maybe.
Couple of things. Number one, play it out. And if someone told Newt Gingrich to get out before the first Iowa caucus, he wouldn't do it. So I think that's wrong. No doubt about it, Donald Trump's in control right now. If you're looking at who did the best, he did one study, surveyed 500 people, say rate the candidates 1 to 10 from the other day. Ramaswamy, 6.9, DeSantis, 6.5, Nikki Haley, 5.6, and it goes down from there. It was a little chaotic in the last debate, played out, but I would say this. If you've been looking at the cases that are going against Donald Trump, this last one is by far the most horrific. And I say not for Trump, and I'm not saying it's same for the American people. This case where they're attacking his businesses and going after saying that he inflated the worth of his businesses. But they go in there, they decide they're realtors, they decide the banks don't have a problem, insurance agents don't have a problem, contractors don't have a problem. He's making all his payments, he's positive for the economy, but we want to take him down. So we think you inflated the cost of the worth of your businesses in order to get loans that you're paying off or paid off, and then you decrease it because you don't want to pay taxes. That's called every day. from the small homeowner on down. This is an attorney general who wants to take him down. They loved him before he ran, and they're looking to put his Trump Tower, his Mar-a-Lago, everything into a receivership, anything he owns in New York. They put it Mar-a-Lago, and they said it's worth $18 million. That's an empty lot instead of $300 million. And now this one judge, a run unopposed Democrat, didn't like anything the lawyer said. They're looking to take him down. And I'm telling you, this is only going to give him more jet fuel. But in the meantime, what does it say? If political people don't like you and you're not a billionaire or you are a billionaire, they could just take you apart.
First of all, the Post family used to own Mar-a-Lago, sold it to Donald Trump. That property is worth so much money. There's a hedge fund guy that spent $500 million buying 5 properties, tore down the houses. He just wanted the properties and is building the hedge fund guy from Chicago. I can't remember his name. Ken Griffin,
Fisher.
right? Yeah, Ken Fisher? Is it? Okay, whatever.
Some guy.
Okay,
Rich
so
guy.
the property is worth, I mean, I would say at least, I'd say, what, $billion?
That's what
Because
he
it
said.
has
Let's say 300
ocean
million.
property,
Yeah.
then there's that street, and that's where his beach club is, and on this side is the big mansion, and he has intercoastal waterway back there. There is no more property on Palm Beach, especially in that area. It's the prime real estate. It's next to a few clubs, and it is prime real estate. It is not worth, it's worth a lot more than that.
So they're
But-
trying to take him down.
but this is what's interesting, what Newt was saying, because it's right. You think, like, how can he's going through so much? You'll meet people, especially New Yorkers that are Democrats, that say, I don't like Donald Trump, I don't want him anymore. Like, how is he doing so well? Why is he 50 points ahead of everybody else? Why? Newt's right. It is a movement. It's not a candidate. He was not a politician. He was a business guy who gave money to Democrats and Republicans, and he sees what's happening to our country. He sees there are 2 tiers of justice. He sees that things are not fair depending on
and then
what letter you have behind your name.
One guy could take your business apart.
One guy can take your business down. And so I think America's rallied around it because we're scared that our country's going in the wrong direction, and he could save it.
Brian, to your point, the judge has already said that there was fraud committed, and that's why he's lost all of his business licenses here in New York. There's a possibility he could lose Trump Tower
One
and stuff
judge.
like that.
He's appealing, though, right?
So, well, what's going to happen now is they're going to start the trial next week. It sounds like all the members of the family are going to actually be called to testify for, to different parts of this particular lawsuit. If he loses, ultimately, he will appeal. And they're trying to figure out, okay, who can run the businesses while he appeals? He can't run it. His family can't run it. Who would do it? And so that's, there's
Can you
a lot
believe
hanging
this?
in limbo.
An attorney general can target a businessman to get a Democratic judge to decide that you inflated the worth of your business more than any other realtor. Any realtor around the world looks to inflate the value of their business to get the best loan possible in order to be the best client possible for a future bank. But instead, you got to take Trump down, who you lauded before he ran for president.
Yeah.
Good luck. You go ahead and line up all other companies and find out if they try to inflate the worth of their business. But it's up to the bank
Especially
to
in New York
say,
City.
is this what you say it is? And if the bank goes ahead and goes, take the money anyway, insurers go, yes, it's good enough for me, but it's not good enough for an attorney general who probably never bought a thing in her life.
Well, the trial's going to start next week. I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.